Hello everyone, welcome to What If Issei was the Reincarnation of Gogetta movie. Before we start, please go support Draco24 for writing that awesome fanfic. This is the translated version I made. There will be some mistake in character's gender, but of course Issei is a male. Issei, the reincarnation of Gogetta. Rite, the reincarnation of Vegetto. Appearance. This is Issei in his normal state. He is a boy who was forgotten and left aside by his loved ones and will discover that he is the reincarnation of someone very powerful. All this will happen after the defeat of the raiding game against Reincarnation. He will awaken his power through a very strong emotion, and he will have to decide to go down the path of evil or go down the path of good. Issei will be the most powerful being in the galaxy. He will be the reincarnation of the legendary Gogetta, the fusion of Goku SSJ4 and Vegeta SSJ4. Issei's enemies will be varied, some from the world of Goku and Vegeta, gods of destruction, corrupted gods, protecting the innocent from the strongest and helping those in need. Prologue. In a very distant universe you can see three beings fighting. Two of them had a pointed head and a red monkey tail, while the other had the appearance of a humanoid dragon. Yo Xinglong, die damn apes, raising his arm with his royal palm extended, generating a red key sphere in it. Die, he repeated over and over again. Goku SSJ4, Vegeta be careful, moving from one side to the other. Vegeta SSJ4, I know insect moving too. They continued like this for a few minutes, dodging and counterattacking. Goku SSJ4, Vegeta, I'm running out of energy, and that guy is very powerful. Vegeta SSJ4, I know. Goku SSJ4, Vegeta, I have an idea. Vegeta SSJ4, and what is that idea, Kakaroto? Goku SSJ4, we have to do the fusion, only then will we defeat him. Vegeta would start to blush in embarrassment upon hearing that, but he knew well that it was the only way to defeat Xinglong once and for all and avenge his loved ones. Note: their land was destroyed, but thanks to Goku's teleportation they were saved, but their loved ones were not. Goku SSJ4, well then let's start by standing up. Vegeta imitated what Goku did and positioned himself on the opposite side of Goku. Goku and Vegeta, Fos Saiyan Haya. Set it at minute 12 to 1400 hours, ignore the others. Xinglong, who the hell are you? Gogetta, I am neither Goku nor Vegeta. I am the one in charge of finishing you. Giving him a look that sent the one-star dragon flying. The fight is like in the original story, only with one change. Gogetta SSJ4, this is your ending, splitting into 5. All 5 at the same time. You will not survive this attack, you will be destroyed. Final Kamikameha X100. Xinglong being disintegrated, Air Nua. After the attack ceased, there was no trace of him, or of his very existence. Gogetta SSJ4, I finally managed to take a deep breath and try to detransform, but I couldn't. But what is happening, because I can't defuse? After several attempts I didn't succeed, but out of nowhere I am surrounded by a golden light, and being transported to another place. Meanwhile at the palace, a being in divine clothes could be seen looking at Gogetta with a happy face. Dragonic, welcome to my kingdom. If my name is Dragonic, and I am the god and guardian of the Megaverse. Gogetta SSJ4, what am I doing here looking at the god with suspicion? Me, nothing, I just wanted to bring you to my house so you could do me a little favor, and then I'll send you to your loved ones. Gogetta SSJ4, I would think about it, and after 5 minutes of thinking he answered me. Okay, I accept that this is what I have to do. Me, well, changing my smile to a serious one, Gogetta seeing that also became serious. I need you to become the reincarnation of a young boy who will be the next guardian of the galaxy. Gogetta, and why am I looking at the god? Me, because you are the most powerful being in all the universes, showing him all the worlds where he is the strongest in the multiverse. Gogetta, I understand, but what's so special about that kid? Me, easy, he also has ki but very weak, showing a child being beaten by other children. Gogetta, why they beat him up while helplessly watching what was happening. Me, wait and see. Then they see how the child's eyes went from being hazel to crimson red. Child. Out of nowhere a very thin layer of red aura covers little Issei, and with a serious look he gets up and in a pose that only Gogetta knows he launches into the attack. 20 minutes later you can see a shirtless Issei with a butterfly knife stuck in his abdomen walking heavily, while behind him you can see the attackers all beaten and some injured. Gogetta, impressed by what he saw, he could only ask. He has the same key as me. Me, yes, he will be the child that you will help and guide him on the path of good and prevent him from going with evil. Showing a world full of life and a being looking at his planet with a smile. Imagine him without the mask and with a smile that wets his panties. But if you reject my request, I will still send you to your loved ones. But the child will go down the path of evil, shown to the universe in chaos and destruction, and on a throne to an Issei with a psychopathic and unhinged smile. Me, so you accept my request? Will you help the child and guide him on the path of good, or reject my offer and let the child go on the path of evil? Gogetta, because I. Me, Gogetta, why did you choose me, when there are so many like me who can do the job? Me, I chose you because you are different from all of them. You have a will even greater than all of them. Gogetta, just for that, it's okay to accept being the reincarnation of the child. Me, good choice. I will also give you this by throwing a large bag of hermit seeds and this approaching Gogetta, and with his open hand touching his head and transferring great knowledge to him. Another thing, in the world of that child there are supernatural beings like angels, fallen, demons, dragons, gods, etc., and also this taking out of his clothes some black rings and some Patora earrings. And behind Gogetta a portal would open. Good luck, and don't forget to help the child keep him away from evil and teach him everything you know for future fights that the child will have. Gogetta, I will do it to start levitating and go through the portal. Me, dark times are coming, but I have a hunch that everything will change because of the decisions you make, little Issei. Chapter 1. My life is shit. Narrates Issei. Hello, my name is Issei, Hayadu, saying his name with disgust. Since I can remember, my life was happy. I had 2 parents who loved me, my grandparents who pampered me, my brothers who I swore to protect, and also many people. But everything changed when that damn Citri arrived. I still remember the day everything was ruined and my hell began. Flashback. An Issei of about 8 years old could be seen taking care of his little brothers and sisters when one of his sisters approached him. Jaleka, 4 years old, Oni-chan. Issei, what's wrong, little sister? Jaleka, you can load me with what you said with an angel face. Issei, of course. But when his other brothers see this, they run away with the intention of also being carried by their older brother. Leo, 5 years old, it's not fair, one San puffing out his cheeks in envy. I want to be carried too. Maria, 4 years old, already 2. Luis, 3 years old, me too. At that point the children would start fighting for their older brother's attention. Issei, seeing that, would sigh, and with a slightly loud scream he would silence his little brothers/sisters. Issei, stop screaming, I'll carry you all at the same time, okay? The kids, okay, Oni-chan. Issei, well, first Jaleka taking her and putting her on his left shoulder, then he would take Maria and put her on his right shoulder, then he takes Leo and puts him on his head, and finally he takes Luis and carries him in his arms. Seeing the great strength and ease with which he carried the infants, most of the people in the park were left with their mouths open and others were very surprised. Issei, well, let's go home, but without anyone noticing, a small and very thin layer of red aura would surround it, not being noticed by anyone, and the children feeling that would feel protected. On the outskirts of the park, a red-haired man could be seen looking at Issei with a happy look. Zeoticus, finally someone worthy of saving my daughter from the clutches of the shitty council. Venelana, what's up, dear? Zeoticus, I think I found the right one to take care of our daughter, honey, looking out the limo window. Venelana, seeing where her husband looked, would be surprised by what she saw, an Issei coming out of the park all calm with 4 children in his arms. But what impressed the woman was the red aura that transmitted incredible warmth and peace. Meanwhile you can see an Issei arriving at a somewhat large mansion. Issei, well, we arrived. waking up his little brothers/sisters who reluctantly woke up and proceeded to get off their brother. Upon entering the house, you could see many maids moving around. Upon arriving at the dining room, he would greet his parents and grandparents. That was my life. I had a big family. Everyone loved me. I was the best student at school. I had a lot of fangirls and more. But there is a motto in life. All good things always come to an end. April 20th, 2020. Everyone could be seen in the park living together as a family, until a somewhat peculiar family approached them. Who would have thought that those people and their damn last name would ruin my life? I hate you, damn Citri. End of flashback. From that day on, when my family found out that my brothers had sacred gears and I had nothing, they started beating me. They stopped paying attention to me. The only people who paid me even a little attention were my mother and my grandfather. The rest just despised me for being useless, without talent, and also because someone spread a rumor that I was a pervert. Afterwards, my friends left me in oblivion. I was repudiated by everyone at school because they thought I was the traitor who sold information to other schools. Another thing is that my father, in his infinite wisdom, took me out of the inheritance and gave it to my little brother Leo, who, upon receiving the news, increased his ego. Only 2 of my brothers/sisters still loved me. After a while, I got a girlfriend. She was everything to me. She was always by my side when I needed her the most and more. I thought I would finally be happy again. How naive I was. Flashback. I was entering the academy as usual. Everyone was looking at me with a dirty look, but I ignored them. I just wanted to get to Elizabeth and celebrate our 8 months as a couple. In my hands I had a small black case where you could see a beautiful pearl necklace and a heart with the initials I+I. After looking for her in all the rooms, I didn't find her. Issei, maybe he didn't come today. He started walking, but just as he passed near the men's bathroom he heard some moans. Me, don't go there, soldier. I repeat, don't go there. When he was about to open the door, he heard Elizabeth's voice, and what he heard completely broke Issei's heart and hopes of loving again. The subject, and tell me who is better, me or that useless boyfriend of yours? Elizabeth, you are better Daisuke than my useless boyfriend. I was only with him out of pity. Issei, upon hearing that, would only begin to cry silently. Daisuke, and what else? Because I doubt it was out of pity. Elizabeth, it's okay, it was because of a bet his little sister made me. Who would have thought that even his own blood would betray him? She only pretends to love him, the same as his other brother. Issei, upon hearing that and with a darkened face, would throw away his small box and with a lifeless look he would walk out of the school, but not before activating the fire alarm and leaving the place with his fists clenched. End of flashback. After leaving school he would go for a walk until he reached a forest where he would fall to his knees in the grass and say, because hitting the ground, because hitting even harder, because I would scream strongly, hitting with superhuman strength, making a crater in the earth and making the entire world shake. All I wanted was to be loved and wanted again, but no matter what I do, everything gets ruined, screaming even louder. I hate them. While out of nowhere Issei's hair changed from brown to red, I hate them happening again. I hate them so that out of nowhere the sky got dark and lightning. Reds and gold will impact near him, and with a powerful shout to the sky he will pass. Issei, away out of nowhere the storm got worse, disturbing everyone in Japan. They were able to feel for a few brief moments the sadness of a broken child. After having screamed with all his strength he would fall unconscious, but with only one witness of his great power, the earth. Witnessed something even greater, it witnessed a future guardian. Ages and power. First of all, here I will show you the ages of Issei's brothers/sisters and his current age. Issei X Hayden now Miyamoto. Age 14 years old. Race, human/unknown. Power unknown, unknown key, strong will. Leo Hayadu. Age 11 years. Race, human/reincarnated demon. 3 pawns. Power, the sword of the dead. Luis Hayadu. Age 10 years. Race, human/reincarnated demon. 3 pawns. Power, Security, I don't know how to spell it. Jaleka Hayadu. Age 10 years. Race, human/reincarnated demon. 1 bishop. Power, Tiamat's shield. Maria Hayadu. Age 9 years. Race, human/reincarnated demon. 1 tower. Power, possesses superior strength and dexterity. Note, but Issei has more than that. Well, these are the ages of the brothers/sisters, and of Issei later I will write the ages of his future ex-parents and grandparents. Chapter 2. After the events of the previous CAP, you can see an Issei lying on the grass, but with a noticeable change. His hair was previously chocolate brown and became a strong crimson red with golden tips like the sun. His muscles became a little more marked, and he grew a little taller from being 1.40 to 1.80. His eyes remained the same hazel color, and his shirt was torn by his growth. Then he got up to look at his hands, and with a light squeeze he felt a great power run through his veins. Issei, this is why my nails turned black and why everything looks smaller. When trying to stop, it took off to a height of 3 meters. But what the hell to fall back into the grass? What is happening to me? In that with his ears he would hear the singing of some birds on the other side of the forest. Out of nowhere he began to run at a somewhat fast speed. After running for over 1 hour, you would look at yourself and notice that you are not tired or anything. Issei, how strange, but what does it matter? But when he is about to continue his run with his ears, he would hear something that caught his attention, a cry for help. Issei, well, it's time to try this, to start running with force and with great momentum to fly through the air. Issei, there I go, St. Peter, disappearing from the place but leaving a small crater where he was before. Meanwhile, on the other side of the city in an abandoned warehouse, 2 girls could be seen with their hands and feet bound with ropes and gagged. Demon 1, boss, that we will do with them later. Demon 2, yes, what will we do with them? Demon Chief, calm down, in a few minutes our buyer will arrive to take them away. Demon 3, who would say that these girls' bodyguards would just give them to us? Demon 4, you're right, and I thought they would fight us, but in the end they gave them to us without a fight to get close to one of them and remove the gag. Girl, you'll see, my father will come and kill you all. Then the demons would start laughing at the girls' good joke and just walked away from them. Out of nowhere you hear a car outside, and then you hear some heavy footsteps. So the door was opened, and it will show an old, ugly and fat man smoking a cigar. Old man, you have what I asked for. Boss, yes sir, here are the Gremory and Agar's heiresses. Old man, they had no problems with their guards. Demon 3, it's nothing more than that, they gave them to us without a fight. Old man, well gentlemen, here you have it as I promised, taking out 5 briefcases full of money. It was a pleasure doing business with you. To get close to one of the girls and start touching them, we will have a lot of fun sticking out our tongue to lick the girl's face. Rias, not everything but that help, only to be hit by the old man, silencing her, and for her to fall unconscious and with her last words say, "Please someone save me," and fall unconscious. While the other girl watched this with tears in her beautiful green eyes. Akame, and oh, Rias, someone please help us. Old man, shut up and hit it too. Well, now without anything else to say, load the girls into the car quickly because I'm in a hurry. When they were about to go outside, everyone present heard a sound of something falling. They looked up and saw a child flying without wings. All of them, but what the hell is that? Back with our protagonist. He looked at what was happening down there, and seeing the 2 girls tied up and beaten only made his fury grow, since he recognized the 2 girls instantly. They were the same ones he saved from those bully kids 2 years ago, and seeing what they were doing to his 2 friends, a killer instinct came to the surface. It was such a strong instinct that it put the 3 factions on alert. In the underworld. Searches. But what is this killer instinct that I'm feeling? To look at you with your hands shaking. So many years have passed and I finally feel that again. In the sky. Michael, this is so strong but at the same time very warm. Then a blonde girl came in. Gabriel, Oni-chan, you felt that power trembling a little because of the murderous instinct that was felt. It can't be what I'm feeling. Michael, yes, sister, I felt it. While in Gregory. Azazel. But what an incredible power I am feeling. Looking at how his hands tremble, this sensation that I am feeling I have not felt in thousands of years. The three fear. After having expelled that instinct, the men down there were filled with fear, and when they looked up again they could see how the child descended with force to hit the car, breaking it in half. Issei, very well being surrounded by a thin red aura and putting himself in a somewhat familiar pose, we begin to quickly move to the left, and with a right hook he hits Demon 1 in the face, and then kicks him with an axe in the chest, sending the guy against the wall, destroying it in the process. 1 is missing 5, to dodge a blow that was aimed at his ribs, and with a sweep of his legs he would send the subject to the floor and then jump and hit him in the stomach with such force that he spit saliva and blood, to crush his head with his foot and leave it buried in the floor. But out of nowhere he would receive a fireball, sending Issei to the floor, burning the top of his clothes and a little of his pants. Issei, curse, hitting the floor. I didn't see that one coming, getting up as he could, but without him noticing the burns he had were healing quickly, and with a small scream Issei's hair became even redder, and some tips of his hair turned golden. Something like that, but with longer, red hair with gold tips. Issei, moving faster than usual, would hit the one who threw the fireball at him, killing him instantly. While the others, seeing their boss dead, chose to flee. Old man, damn cowards, to focus there. Look at the young man who was walking slowly and releasing a somewhat strong heat. Aback, or else taking a Rias already awake, only for her to feel something sharp on her neck, and opening her eyes a little, she would look at the person who was trying to save, and seeing well, he began to cry with joy, and with a soft voice he says, Issei, you came to save me. Issei, hearing that, gave a small smile, and with his somewhat soft voice replied, That's right, my dear friend, I have come to save you. Old man, not one more step or I'll kill this brat. Issei, upon hearing that, stopped suddenly, only to lower his head, but out of nowhere he would hear the following phrase in his head. Put your 2 fingers on your forehead and concentrate, and say key sword. Issei would do as said, and standing firm he would put his fingers and concentrate. Old man, well, with his free hand he can create a transportation circle. Until then, he would feel a bite on his hand. Damn brat, when he is about to hit her she would feel a huge pain in her chest, and she would look down like that, and with her eyes filling with great horror she would scream. Issei, rule number 1 in a fight: never let your guard down, he would say, with his fingers extended like this in front, where you could see a long red sword made of ki. Out of nowhere the man would stop breathing and fall lifeless to the ground. In that, Issei would approach Rias and Akame and would begin to remove the ropes and the gag, only to receive a hug, and would feel something wet just to touch them a little, and see how they cried raw tears. Rias, I thought, sniff that no one would be saved, crying and hugging Issei again, and crying on his chest. Akame, sniff, thanks sniff for saving us. Issei, sniff and hug the redhead with golden highlights again. Issei, okay, calm down, I'm here with you, and with my arms I take you both by the waist, and they are surrounded by a red aura that calms you down and fills you with protective security. Note, these are Rias and Akame, both 3 years younger than Issei. Rias Gremory. Race, demon. Age, 12 years. Akame Agars. Race, demon. Age, 11 years. Well, let's go home to take both Rias and Akame by the hands and start walking and getting away from the place. But if they had stayed, they would have realized that they are being atoned for by the girl's parents. Lords/ladies Agars and Gremories. Without a doubt that boy is worthy of protecting/saving our daughter. Meanwhile, Issei. I wonder who that person was who told me about the key sword and the most important thing, which is key. While inside Issei's mind. And, it's time for you to meet us. Elsewhere in the Megaverse. Me, it seems the time has come. This is just the beginning. Get ready, Issei, because the problems are about to begin. Are you ready, my friend? Looking at a man who had green earrings in each ear and blue hair. Who will be my reincarnation? Me, your reincarnation will be an orange-haired boy, and take this by throwing a big case. Inside there is everything you need for the... Okay. And cross a multicolored portal. Back with Issei. I don't know why, but I remember that this has just begun to look at the starry sky and with a smile say. Chapter 3. Reincarnation of Two Scions. You can see an Issei flying through the air and smiling at the same time. Issei, I can get used to this, it's fun to be able to fly. After flying for a long time, he decides to return to his home. Issei looking at the big doors, well, I'm here. Taking the doorknob and slamming it open, breaking it in the process, and it falls to the floor, creating a loud noise. Issei, the one who swallowed takes me, I have to control my new strength more. After entering and putting the door back in place, he did not realize that he was being watched by two children who were upstairs, amazed by the strength of their older brother. Luis, wow, my brother is strong. Maria, yes, Oni-chan is very strong, going down the stairs and running to hug him. Issei, well, that's more than enough, but when he's about to turn around, he steps aside and in slow motion sees a brown-haired girl with the door, making her fall again, but in reverse. Maria, oh my head, Oni-chan, you are bad, but when she saw her older brother she froze because she did not see her with those warm and serene eyes but with a cold and emotionless one. Issei, don't ever try to hug me again, insect. Mary, upon hearing this, began to cry and said, Sniff, Oni-chan, sniff, why do you tell me that I wasn't your favorite little sister, crying my eyes out. Issei, you were, but I heard a truth from a certain person saying that you only pretended to love me, and that goes for you too, Luis. Luis, but I didn't do anything, brother, this has to be a lie, what you heard from us. Issei, silence, he shouted loudly, making his little brothers/sisters tremble. I don't want to hear a single word from your lying mouths again. From today on, you are no longer my little brother/sister. Good night. Go up to the second floor and enter your room and close it tightly. Maria, sniff, Oni-chan, don't leave me alone, sniff, come back, I need your love, sniff. Luis, with his face darkened and with tears, falls to his knees, and on his arm appears a red glove and says, Drake, see what happens when you don't listen to me. I told you it was very good that you didn't listen to them, and now they have lost it forever, disappearing. Luis, but what have we done now? I lost my Oni-san, and all because of him and his stupid challenge. Meanwhile, in a room, you can see an Issei already all wet and looking at the changes in his body in the mirror. Issei, it's not that bad and I look more badass than Hexy. Something like that. After looking at her body, he takes a black sleeveless shirt and white shorts. Issei, today was a tiring day and tomorrow will be the same as always, but looking at his hand where a red aura formed, with a different touch. After saying that, he falls into Morpheus' arms and falls asleep, but something different was happening in Issei's head. Issei's subconscious. Issei, where am I? This place, seeing that everything was dark, but before I could continue a strong light cut off Issei for a few brief seconds. After the glow stopped, he could see two men with hair that defied gravity, and each had a monkey tail and was red in color. Issei, who are you pointing at? Those present. Goku SSJ4, hello, nice to meet you, my name is Son Goku or Kakaroto. Vegeta SSJ4, and I am Prince Vegeta, the strongest in the universe. Issei, upon seeing and hearing their names, only proceeded to faint from the shock. Goku, I think we killed him from the shock. Vegeta, and what did you expect? He's just an idiot kid. After being on the floor for about 20 minutes, he got up only to see the same people he knew they weren't a dream. Issei, and what are you doing here? Goku, so we were chosen by a powerful being to be your guides on the right path and not the bad one. Issei, and how can I trust you, looking at both of you with distrust? Vegeta, with this touching the boy's head and showing him what would happen if he chose the path of revenge. Issei, who was crying for everything he did, all those deaths he committed and the planets he destroyed, put him in a trance, and he couldn't stop crying for that. Issei, I'm sorry for everything I did. Goku, calm down, that's what we're here for, so that future doesn't happen and this happy future happens, touching his head and stopping Issei's tears. Issei, that's me looking at an Issei with a smile and looking at the planet he loves so much. But then he sees 4 figures standing next to him, he already knows 2 of them, but he doesn't know the other 2. The first one had a purple cat shape, and the other was a little dwarf and had blue hair. The other had incredible crimson red hair, and the last one had hair as black as the night itself. Vegeta, and what do you say, boy? Do you accept our power? Goku, and also our training? Issei, with a look full of life and with a somewhat serious and soft voice, says, I accept to be your reincarnation. The 2 subjects, upon hearing his determination, could not help but form a satisfied smile. Goku/Vegeta, well, let's start with the training. While outside of Issei's subconscious, in a closed room, a conversation was heard. Goro, then we have a deal. If we have a deal within 8 months, I will come and take it. Goro, excellent. But I'll tell you one thing, if you try to get it back, I won't give it back to you and he will automatically become my grandson, let's be clear. Goro, yes sir, Yamamoto. At that point the call ends and he sees a photo of him and his family, but in the background he sees a redhead and says, Goro, you will finally stop being a hindrance to this family. Elsewhere in the underworld, a girl with black hair and glasses can be seen hugging a stuffed animal in the shape of Issei. Soma, someday you will be mine, my beautiful Issei, and you will be the father of my children, madly kissing the doll. Me, too bad that will never happen because he hates you with all his being. Chapter 4. Training and Acceptance. A redhead could be seen sitting in a concentrated lotus position, while in his subconscious he was having a conversation with his 2 tenants. Issei's subconscious. Issei, well, senseis, what are we going to do today? Vegeta, first we will teach you the basics so that your body can get used to it both physically, mentally and ki. Goku, yes, what Vegeta said will first be some basic exercises to strengthen your body, then it will be mental to strengthen your mind, and finally how to use ki. Issei, okay, who will I start with first? Vegeta, that would be Goku since he beat me in rock, paper, scissors. Issei, oh okay, and tell me Mr. Goku, what will you teach me? Goku, first it will be the physical and the resistance. You will do 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 planks, 100 squats, lift rocks and run 20 kilometers every day for 2 months, then I will teach you my Master Roshi's fighting style, the turtle style, and finally some of my techniques. Issei, okay master. Out of your subconscious. Issei, well, let's start with this. Note: I will summarize all of his training since if I wrote it down it would be very long. Month 1 and 2. He trained his physique and each week he increased his exercises more. Month 3 and 4. He learned the turtle fighting style, and also improved his fighting style, which is a mix of taijutsu and boxing, and the Saiyan style. Month 5 and 6. He learned and memorized all of Goku's key techniques, but what surprised both Saiyans was his Kamehameha. Flashback. Goku, very well Issei, channel your ki in your body and mold it in your hands and launch it as if it were a ki blast but more concentrated. Issei, okay, jumping to the top of a mountain, and then he begins to release his ki, which is red in color. He then positions his hands as if he were about to throw something. Issei, Kame. In that a red orb is created in his hands. Issei, Heamimi. An even larger red orb forms and compresses. Issei, Haa. In that a large blast of ki is launched and hits a mountain, destroying it in the process, and directing the large blast upwards. Issei, oops, I think I didn't measure my ki very well, ha 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 ha. But inside it were a surprised Goku and Vegeta because they thought it would be blue, but in the end it came out red, and even more so because it was very powerful, since where there was once a mountain now there is only a huge crater 10,000 m in diameter around. End of flashback. Month 7 and 8. During that time he reviewed everything he learned from his teacher, and also wondered what happened to his family. Well, during the last few months, Issei acquired a neutral mentality towards his family and his siblings, and also spent more time with Rias and Akame, being the best friends, although both girls began to feel something for the young Saiyan, and asked their mothers what that feeling was, and they told them that what they felt was love, which made them blush a lot. Meanwhile with Issei, well, He was now flying at maximum speed through the sky since he liked to feel the air on his face. Issei, I will never tire of this feeling. To further increase your ki, creating a small layer of ki and fly up above the Earth's atmosphere, looking at the beauty of space. To begin to dive down, creating a sonic boom and a small wind wave. Landing a few blocks from his home, he could see a black limousine parked outside his house. He didn't care if there were visitors. Issei opening the door, I'm here. Juleka, Oni-chan jumping to hug him, but only feels the hard floor, and lifting her face she looks back and with tears says, Juleka, mo Oni-chan, you didn't catch me. Issei with a gloomy face, and why would I have to squeeze a stupid girl like you? Juleka, Oni-chan, what's wrong with you? Issei, shut up and never call me again in your life, Oni-chan nor Issei, did you hear me, damn insect, to leave the place, leaving a sobbing Juleka. While Issei was walking through the halls of the mansion, he feels the presence of his other little brother, this being Leo. Leo, Oni-san runs towards him, look, I made you a drawing of us. In that, Issei takes the drawing where he is carrying them in the park. Leo, you like it? Issei, it's horrible. I don't like him tearing the drawing into pieces in front of him. Leo, be you, but sniff, you always said sniff that I drew well sniff. Issei, that was before but not anymore, and something else approaching his ear. Issei whispering to her, I found out that you and Juleka were just pretending to be nice to me, and what I'm going to tell you, you'll tell that fool Juleka that if they get close or bother me or someone I love, I'll kill them. Leo just proceeded to cry and wet his pants out of fear. Issei, pathetic, how can I be the older brother of weak and useless insects like you? Leaving the place, leaving a broken and crying Leo. Issei, I think I was too harsh on him, but it is necessary for him to reconsider and change his attitude. Then he arrives at the living room where he sees his dear parents, talking to a man with a big mustache and a serious look. Issei, I'm here, and who is the old man at his lake? Goru, more respect for Yamamoto-san's son, he said it with disgust for calling him son. Issei, respect is not given, it is earned. Sir, you are right, boy. Issei, finally someone who understands, and tell me, sir, what brings you here? Sir, simple, getting up from his place and walking to Issei and getting to his height. Sir, I have come to take you with me, since from now on you are my grandson. Vegeta, what? Goku, what? Juleka, what? Leo, how? Issei, Nanith. Chapter 5. Fight. The place is completely silent as an Issei is processing what the older man said in front of him. Issei, excuse me, sir, but could you repeat what you just told me? Baky, you can call me little Baky, and what I told you is if you wanted to be my grandson. Thoughts, and future director and head of my companies. Issei, let me think about it for a while, he said it calmer by the man's response, and closing his eyes he began a mental conversation with his sensei. Issei's mind. Issei, masters, what decision should I make? Vegeta, I told you to accept, since according to Kakaroto he doesn't feel any evil intention in the Goku, that's right, and you can also see in his eyes that he is suffering from loneliness since he only has his wife, but his children abandoned him and his wife and took their own selfish paths. Issei, if you say so, I will do it. Out of Issei's subconscious. Slowly he opens his eyes and with a determined look he says his decision. Issei, Mr. Baky, I have made a decision. Baky, and that would be it, he said it with a big smile. Issei, I agreed to be his surrogate grandson, but with one condition, running to his room and returning with some papers. Baky, what are those papers, boy? Issei, you will know, walking is being in front of your parents, and extending the paper where it only said signature. Goru, what is this, brat? I was serious. Issei, they're just some papers so I can carry my things. At that, Goru and Mickey sign without reading the paper, making Issei smile a little since his plan worked, and returning to his place he makes Mr. Baky sign as well. Issei, well, that's all. Goru, what was that paper? He said it with some fear since they could see how Issei's smile grew more. Issei, easy, taking out the paper, it's a letter of emancipation. That surprised everyone and made one person cry, this being Mickey. Mickey, tell me that's not true, sniff sniff. Issei, it's real and now I'm called Issei Miyamoto. Goro, you damn creature did it on purpose, right? He said it furiously since his whole plan went down the drain. Issei, that's right, because by becoming his grandson I would become his heir, and when he dies you would take everything of value and I, being the minor, would not be able to do anything. Goro, Mall, throwing with intentions of hitting him, but Issei was faster and gave him a right hook but with little force, sending his ex-father flying to the wall, leaving him buried in it, surprising everyone with his strength. But two idiots who had just arrived did not like that and launched themselves against Issei. Issei, wow, but they are my younger siblings Maria and Luis. Luis, shut up, nobody hurts Dad, summoning a red glove. Maria, now you will see how useless it is to pull out a sword that gave off frost. Issei, we better solve this outside. Going outside into a huge patio. Luis, this will be your end, brother, since you are just a useless person without power. Maria, we will teach you a lesson. Issei only had his eyes closed as a thin layer of red ki enveloped him. Vegeta, you are allowed to use only 10% of your power. Issei, it's more than enough. At that moment Sona arrived and was accompanied by her older sister. Luis, hey Sona Kaicho, you can put up a barrier since we'll teach the useless guy a lesson not to mess with us. Sona, it's okay to create a barrier. Issei, you better reinforce that barrier since what will happen here is engraved in your heads. But they didn't pay attention to him. Issei, well, you didn't hear me. At that point, a great heat began to be felt, and they could see that it was emanating from Issei. Issei, At that point everything starts to shake and a small wave of power sends everyone to the ground and a beam of power is shot upwards. Issei, Out of nowhere the entire planet begins to shake, scaring everyone and the other factions. Issei, I'm ready in fighting stance. And without warning he launches into the attack, raining blows on Luis, who was trying to protect himself from the devastating blows. He is then grabbed by the leg and begins to be whipped against the ground, later being sent flying and crashing into a pillar, falling unconscious with blood coming out of his forehead. Issei, you keep pointing at Maria. Maria, come, I'll cut you into pieces, throwing cuts left and right with the intention of cutting Issei with his sword, but he just dodged it. Issei, this is starting to bore me, I'd better end this quickly, stopping the sword with his fingers and with little force breaking it in two. Maria, but since this sword is indestructible. Issei, sweet dreams. At that point Maria spits saliva and falls to the floor unconscious. But then a Seraphal approaches him and slaps him. Seraphal, how could you do this to your brothers? What the hell is wrong with you? Issei. Seraphal, and I thought you were different, but you're just one of the bunch. Issei. Seraphal, your parents and siblings are right. You're just a good-for-nothing useless person who shouldn't have been born. Issei whispering, shut up, clenching his fist. Seraphal, what are you saying? Issei whispering, I told you to shut up, surrounding his fist with his red aura and with golden touches. Seraphal, speak louder, I can't hear you. Issei, Calat, hitting Seraphal in the face, sending him to a wall, destroying it in the process, and when he is recovering Issei appeared on his forehead, burying his fist in Seraphal's face and sinking deeper and deeper. Issei, never speak to me again in your damn life, Citri, or I swear I will kill you, looking at a Seraphal who has blood on her forehead and some tears. Issei, Grandpa Baky, let's get out of here. Baky, okay. After leaving the mansion they head to an elegant car, and getting in it they head towards a new life for Issei, and the beginning of a legend is just beginning. Chapter 6. Friendly Fight. After what happened with the Haidu family, you can see a pensive Issei while being watched by his now grandfather Baky, who looked at him with a serious face, and the first to speak is Issei. Issei, and tell me, Mr. Baky, why you chose me and not one of my former brothers. Baky, well, I chose you because you show that you have a strong character as well as being very smart, and calculating when it comes to combat since I witnessed your power. Issei, yes, that's true, but that wasn't all my power since I only used 10% of my base power. Baky was surprised by what his new grandson had said and just started laughing with joy. Baky, how wonderful, you will fit perfectly into the Miyamoto family. Issei, and where do you live, Mr. Baky? Baky, just tell me, Grandpa, and where we will live will be in the great city of New York in the United States, but first we will stay a few more days since I have to get you out of that academy, and take away your last name Hayadu, and give you the last name Miyamoto. Issei, so I have plenty of time to say goodbye to them. Baky, who do you have to say goodbye to, boy? Issei, 2 friends who will surely make a scandal if I don't say goodbye to them. Baky, okay, it's okay. At that point the car stops and they begin to get out and are in front of a huge blue Oriental-style mansion. Issei, wow, this is huge. Baky, if this is the vacation mansion, one of the many that exist throughout the world, come and I'll show you the place. At that the doors are opened by some maids and they say, Maids, welcome Mr. Baky-sama, and young master making a slight bow before them. Issei, Baky, don't worry, you'll get used to it. At that point they begin to look around the entire place, including the living room, the kitchen, the dining room, the huge patio, and more. Baky, and all of this will be yours when I retire, looking at a huge map that is in his office showing all the companies that are in the name of the Miyamoto family, being several companies and micro-companies in different parts of the world globe showing Europe, Africa. Issei, hey, don't you think it's too much for me alone? You don't have children or someone to take your place. Baky, unfortunately he did not have a son, but he became arrogant and haughty, and stained the Miyamoto family name since we have to be loyal and help those in need, but he only wanted to have fame and power, nothing more than that, and I had to remove him from being the next heir of everything, and it seems that he did not like that, and he took all his things and left the house, and we never saw him again. My wife cried day and night since her only son abandoned everything since he was only interested in money, and I instead had to maintain a strong character. He made his decision. Issei, I'm sorry to hear that, and tell me you go out to fight. Baky, ha 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 ha, of course I know how to fight. I may be a bit old, but I still have the strength to defeat a Dragon King. Issei, wouldn't you like a friendly fight, Grandpa? Baky, okay, let's go to the yard. There we'll have enough space to fight. They then head to the courtyard where there was a large training field. At that point Issei begins to stretch and do some warm-ups to position himself in the turtle fighting pose. Issei, I'm ready. Baky, come on boy, don't hold back, I'll do the same, taking off his shirt showing his muscular torso and releasing strong pressure, and behind him appeared what seemed to be a huge white tiger that saw Issei with a prey. Issei, okay, releasing his ki only using 50% of his base power, and launches at great speed with his fist. He throws a punch towards Baky's stomach. Baky, not bad kid, but with that you won't be able to defeat me. Holding Issei's fist, and with his other fist he gives him a punch that sends Issei flying, which hits against a wall. Issei, that didn't hurt me, coming out of the wall and disappearing from Baky's sight, and appearing at his side, kicking him in the side, sending the old man against a shelf, destroying it in the process. Issei, how about that old punch? Baky, not bad kid, but you won't be able to beat me with that, and now I'll have my guard up. So that his body will begin to release a strong heat, and see how little by little his legs turn black and shiny, and with a jump he disappears from Issei's field of vision, who was looking everywhere, but in that he receives a flying kick in the face, but that does not end, as he receives a shower of blows from different directions, and in the end he hits the wall again and destroys it in the process, and continues forward until he crashes into a mountain. Baky, I think I went too far with that combo of punches, I'll go for it. Walking towards Issei. Meanwhile inside the mountain you see an Issei all hurt, and with some wounds. Issei, you that really hurt, that old man hits hard. Vegeta, but what are you doing? You are putting the Saiyan race to shame. Goku, Vegeta, you're not like that with him, he's just a child, he still can't control all of our power, and we still have to train him until he reaches or surpasses his limits. Issei, Master Goku and Master Vegeta, I'm sorry, but I think I got too confident. I thought that just using 50% of my base power would be enough, but that wasn't the case. Besides, that old man is strong. Vegeta, I'll let it go this time, but don't let me humiliate you like this again, or I'll multiply your training x10. That scared the shit out of Issei, since the training his teacher gave him was somewhat extreme, and his other teacher was gentler with him. Issei, I'll keep that in mind, by masters. Coming out of your mind. Meanwhile, Baky was already close to the mountain where his foster grandson was, but out of nowhere all of Japan began to shake, frightening all the inhabitants of a possible earthquake and attracting the attention of certain people. Issei, Issei had transformed into Super Saiyan Phase 1, destroying the mountain completely and beginning to walk as he stepped. The ground was cracking since he was using 20% of the transformation, since he could not control it 100%. Issei, now yes, old man, it's just beginning. Baky, ha 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 ha, and I was thinking that you had given up, but what does it matter, come and give my being some encouragement. At that, both Issei and Baky began to run against each other quickly and began to clash their fists strongly over and over again without giving the other a chance to counterattack. Issei, not bad, you managed to match the power of the SSJ-1. Baky, it's not for nothing that I was trained in all martial arts and boxing in my youth. Besides, you are the first one to make me use the King's Haki at 45%. Issei, just that, I feel honored, but I don't plan on losing. Releasing more ki and increasing his speed, he managed to land some blows, but Baky still managed to land 1 or 2 blows. They then move away and begin to breathe heavily as they were somewhat tired, but if you looked in their eyes you could see a spark of emotion as they were at their limit. Issei, that's all you have, grandpa. Baky, I haven't given up yet and I'm still standing, grandson. Issei, you know I had planned to fight with a special technique, but because of the excitement I transformed into SSJ-1. To stop releasing his ki and disappearing his SSJ-1 state. Baky, are you giving up? Issei, no, on the contrary, I actually got too excited about the fight that I forgot that this transformation uses a lot of energy, and I want to fight you with the power I obtained in my training, although after using it I will feel the worst pain of all, but if one does not risk, one does not win. At that, Issei began to release his ki, quickly making the planet tremble. Issei, he continued to expel his ki in an alarming way, causing the old man to cover himself with his arms and bury his feet in the ground so as not to fly away due to the strong burst of energy released by his grandson. Issei, he stopped expelling his ki, calming the atmosphere. Everything seemed calm, and little by little his power decreased until he was completely relaxed. Issei, Kaioken. Out of nowhere a strong burst of scarlet energy surrounded Issei's entire body. Baky, that this power that I feel is incredible, how excited I am. Issei, this old thing is called Kaioken, it exponentially increases my strength and speed, but there is a small cost to using this technique, and that is great fatigue and a painful muscle cramp. But enough talking, it's time to end this fight. Shooting out with great speed, he hits him with an axe kick that connects with the left side of the abdomen, sending Baky against some trees, destroying everything in his path, but that did not end as he appeared again behind him, giving him a right hook, sending the old man to the highest point of the sky, and appearing and joining his hands gives him a hammer blow across the chest, throwing him against the ground and burying the man halfway, leaving only his legs in the air and the rest of the body inside the earth. Issei, I think I overdid it a little. Dispelling the technique only to fall on his back and feel every fiber of his body run through with great pain, as this was the cost of the technique. Issei, shit, I can't move, that's what happens to me for using the Kaioken X2. But in that he barely manages to see how the man comes out of the ground all hurt, and with blood falling from his mouth, only to laugh with joy. Baky, ha 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 ha, in all my years as a fighter no one has ever managed to hurt me so much. Only my wife was capable of such a feat, and that's why I married her, because she was strong, and you, boy, are much stronger, but you still need to practice your strength control more, because if I hadn't sent the haki to my neck you would have broken it. In that he gets up with some difficulty, and with a slow pace he approaches Issei, and with the little strength he had he lifts him and puts him on his shoulder with a bag of potatoes. He hears a moan of pain from Issei since his body still hurt from the Kaioken X2. Issei, it was a good fight I hope, and next time we fight I will manage to defeat you so that you fall asleep. Baky thoughts. If you knew that you already defeated me with that attack, since if I had not transferred the king's haki to my head I would have fallen unconscious. To continue walking towards the house. Chapter 7. After that friendly fight inside a large bath in a tub, and Issei is seen relaxing in the waters with his body which slowly regenerated his wounds, but inside his mental space it was something else. And Issei could be seen in a corner being comforted by Goku, and he had 4 bumps on his head courtesy of his sensei Vegetto for not using all his power and defeating the man once and for all. Vegetto, no more, I'm not going to fight you again because you are our reincarnation. Goku, I think you went a little too far, don't you think? Vegetto, you better shut up, incest. Out of your mind space. Issei lets out a sigh of defeat and buries his head in the water. After that he leaves the bathroom with a towel around his waist and looked in the mirror, seeing his body with some scars and something marked. Then he leaves the bathroom and begins to walk down the long hallway until he reaches his room and grabs some clothes to get dressed. Once dressed, he leaves his room and heads to the kitchen and prepares a huge sandwich, which he ends up devouring in one bite. Baky, boy, were you hungry or not, little one? Issei, Baky-san, how long have you been standing there? Baky, since you started making that huge sandwich. Issei was just a little embarrassed at being discovered and mentally asked his senseis if he should tell him his secret, and received an HMP from Vegeta and a yes from Goku. Baky-san, I have something to tell you, but let's go to a more private place. Baky, okay boy, let's go to my office. So the two head to the office, and once inside Issei asks her to sit down since this would be a bit long to explain. 1 hour of explanation later. Baky, let's see if I understand. You are the reincarnation of 2 extremely powerful beings and you were chosen to protect this world. Issei, something like that, but promise me that you won't tell any of this to anyone else, because if anyone else finds out they'll be bothering me about my power, and others will try to take it away from me. Baky, calm down boy, your secret will be kept, and by the way, today you will accompany me to get your papers from the academy to get you out of this, and after that in a maximum of 5 days we will go to the United States. Issei, that gives me enough time to say goodbye to them, but knowing them they will do everything possible so that I do not leave them alone, but I will make a promise with them. Baky, there is young love. I hope that in the future you and they will give me grandchildren. Issei blushed even more just thinking about that. Meanwhile, with the aforementioned, they were completely red in the face with embarrassment for some unknown reason. With Issei, he can be seen in a limousine heading to the academy where he and Baky were the center of attention. Inside the academy, Issei received looks of hatred and he cared little about how he was seen, and releasing some of his murderous instinct makes all the students stop looking at him and leave his sight. After kindly asking for Issei's papers from the academy, they closed the door to the director's office, who was on the floor breathing heavily and touching his neck. Now you can see both of them in front of a mansion where Issei proceeds to go down and say goodbye to his grandfather, who had to make some arrangements before he could return to the United States. Issei breathed deeply, since what he was about to do was the most difficult thing in his life, saying not goodbye but see you soon to the 2 girls who captured his heart. And with his thoughts in order he proceeds to knock on the door, and after a few seconds it is opened by a brown-haired woman with lilac eyes who, upon seeing the child, smiles kindly and shouts loudly. Venelana, hello Issei-kun, let's go see the girls. Issei, good morning Venelana-san, I came to see you both because I have something very important to tell you both. Venelana, maybe you will finally be my future son. I can already imagine the day of the fool with them too, and the arrival of my grandchildren. Issei was blushing deeply at what the woman said, and before he could say anything he heard a scream. Rias, okay-san, don't say those embarrassing things with a red face from embarrassment, and the same with the other girl who was just as red as Rias and playing with her fingers. Issei, just seeing that image, could only be stunned by how adorable they looked blushing. Issei, this is going to do something difficult to say, and I can already imagine what will happen.
Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.